Darshan. Today I'm going to speak about the fundamental liberties of Malaysia. So I'm going to start about the first article, which is Article 5. The title will be Rights to Life and Liberty. So my first point will be the rights. Everyone has the right to liberty and no one's personal freedom should be deprived. This means that everyone has their own freedom, so everyone has a certain limitation in whatever they want to do. The second point will be anyone being unlawful detained may be released by the High Court. So this means that only High Court has the power to release the detained person, so no one has the power to release the person. So the third point will be everyone has the rights to know the reason of their arrest. The fourth one will be no one should be arrested more than 24 hours. So the restriction will be anyone detained under immigration matters, they may detain for not more than 14 days and not 24 hours. So that's it from the Article 5. So I will pass it to the next person. Thank you.
Hi, I'll be explaining about Article 6 here, and Article 6 is the prohibition of slavery and forced labor. Here, the rights is that no one should be forced under slavery or forced labor. Slavery means simply that no one is being paid for being employed, or they don't have any rules or regulation. They're just being used as labor, and they have no personal freedom or they have no rights of themselves. So they're being forced under slavery and slavery. So under the rights in this article, there was one case under the Tenaga Nita where a lady who worked in different country in her mid-20s has got her rights to sort back her money that she worked all the while overseas as a maid that she did not get earlier in past few years. So this is one good part of one advantage of this article, that it actually brought right to many people who work overseas and did not get their wages. For example, this girl, and her name has been not shown for security reasons. And there are a couple of restrictions under this article where compulsory national service, for example like PLKN kind of service under government, will not be counted as forced labor. Anyone selected for national service is for Malaysia purposes and it's not under forced labor. And the second point is that work or services forced prisoners, like certain authority force prisoners to do certain work when they are being detained, is not counted as forced labor itself. And third point is that when there is two authority, the first authority appoints the second authority to do certain work, and the second authority should not claim themselves to be under slavery or forced labor. But under the restriction, there was one disadvantage where a case under the Cambodian government did not allow their ladies or women to go overseas, especially in Malaysia, to work, because there have been found that 11 women and ladies who work in our domestic country as maids in slavery, they have been killed, and their cases has not been opened up in any situation, and they have covered up as sudden deaths. So their deaths and their family has not get an answer before. These are all women and ladies who came to other countries, especially in Malaysia, to work, and through this article they did not get justice in any way. So this is one restriction or one disadvantage of this article.
I'm going to explain about Article 8, which is equality. So the rights will be everyone is equal under the law and is bound to equal protection. No one should be discriminated under any circumstances for instant races, religion, gender, place of birth, and so on. Everyone is equal under the law. So the next one will be no public authority should discriminate any person under the federation outside the jurisdiction authority. This means that public authority should not misuse their power by discriminating other citizens. Everyone should be equal and everyone should use their power equally. So now we are moving on to restriction. So this article prohibits any provision of personal law, any practice that restricts employment with the affairs of any religion, any provision for the protection, well-being and advancement of the people in Malay Peninsula, any provision of constitution of a state, be or corresponding to a provision in force immediately before Merdeka Day, and the final will be any restriction in enlistment in the Malays, regiment to Malays. So that's all, thank you.
Hi, I'll be presenting about Article 9. Article 9 speaks of about the prohibition of freedom of movement, and the rights under this article is that everyone owns the rights to move freely. For instance, they would like to move around to anywhere or any country or any state, they have the rights as a citizen in Malaysia to move around anywhere. And one restriction in this article is that under this constitution, certain people or certain citizen of Malaysia is allowed by federation to prohibit them from moving freely for certain circumstances or due to certain incident that happened earlier. And I will relate this restriction to one case, in a case which a guy who is known as Low White Hawk. He has a problem that he came back from Australia to Malaysia, and when he came back he was committed for an offence and being arrested, and after that his passport expired, and when he went to renew his passport, they denied his request to renew his passport, and he was not allowed to move out to Australia or to any other country from Malaysia due to being committed of an offence. And he had actually repealed this case to High Court, and they had actually cancelled his application to apply to High Court that he wants his passport to travel to Australia, and High Court has actually refused his application, so he is denied from being freely moved to other country. And the second case is a case that happened in Negeri Sembilan, where a couple of men who, according to Sharia court, a Muslim man is not allowed to dress up or to behave as a woman, and these men happen to be transgenders, and when they become transgenders, they have been committed under certain cases under Sharia court. And when they been committed under certain case, they could not move out freely to other countries. They have been blocked, or they have been stopped from their freedom to move out to other country, and they have not been allowed to given passport or visa or any sort kind for them to move to places freely to other states or even to other countries. So in this article we can see that there are restrictions stronger than rights in this article. People are more restricted to move freely than actually to be in freedom of movement.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So I'm going to speak about the Article 10, the right and the restriction. So the right, as mentioned in the Article 10, is we can speak and express ourselves freely. But there was also a restriction in this article. Parliament can impose limit if it is related to national security, public order, morality, the special status of Bumiputera, and the sovereignty of the ruler, and national language. So I got an example about the restrictions. A cartoonist was charged under the Sedition Act because he was drawing a cartoon at that time to insult the former Prime Minister, Datuk Seri Najib Razak. So there was the restriction. Even though we can speak freely, but there was also certain limit. As example, the Sedition Act, there was charge. So I'm going to explain about the Article 11, freedom of religion. So everyone has the right to practice their own religion, and every religious institution has the right to manage their own religious affair, maintain their institution for religious affair, and own property related to religious affair in accordance to the law. But there was also restrictions. Any religion may control or restrict their professing religion, but not for Muslim. I take example, in 2018, 4 persons was charged in Sarawak Syariah Court because they convert their religion from Islam to Christian. One convert their religion from Islam to Christian intentionally, and 3, convert their religion from Islam to Christian for marital purposes. So that's all for restrictions.
Today we present about right in respect of education in Article 12. The right is connecting to Article 8. No one shall be discriminated in terms of race, religion, place of birth and so on in receiving education, where in terms of any educational institution by a public authority, no student shall be discriminated in terms of payment of fees or in providing out of the fund of the publicity authority financial aid for the maintenance or education of people or students in any educational institution. Next, every religious group has the right to establish an educational institution for their own religious purpose. No one should be forced to receive instruction other than his own religion. The restriction in this article is anyone below 18 is not allowed to choose their own religion.